The Scrum team is self-organizing with no team leader. It is whole team accountable, meaning the entire team commits to the work as a whole, and the entire team succeeds or fails to deliver that work. Normally, a Scrum team is small, with 7 plus or minus 2 people. They should work in close proximity to each other, as one of the guiding principles of Agile development is an emphasis on face-to-face conversation. Each team member should be assigned full-time to the team, since the team as a whole is depending on each member to complete their part of the committed tasks. Distraction with outside task or responsibility would violate the Scrum value of focus. The entire team must be focused on the work of each sprint. The work delivered is the product increment, which is potentially shippable software. To create potentially shippable software, the team needs to be cross-functional, including all the skills needed to achieve this. These skills include not only development, but also QA, UI design, and technical writers. New teams may start small and add on resources with needed skill sets as they progress and learn to work together. However, even though a specific team member has the skill set for a specific task, the entire team is responsible for completing all the tasks. For instance, if QA has too many tasks to complete at the end of the sprint, the entire team needs to pitch in to complete the testing so the sprint will be successful. The cross-functional nature of the team makes it outward-facing, as everything it needs to complete its work is located inside the team itself. The team is self-directed. Team members collaborate and manage each other, without direction from a manager. All this is accomplished and supported by the Scrum process. The work the team commits to in each sprint is held in the sprint backlog. In the sprint planning meeting, the team meets with the product owner and Scrum Master to move the highest priority items from the product backlog to the sprint backlog. Each product backlog item must be fully defined, be small enough to be completed within a sprint, and must have acceptance criteria that definitively determines when the item is done. The team breaks each item down into small tasks and assigns a level of effort to each task. Once the level of effort reflected in the sprint backlog reaches the team's capacity, the backlog is frozen and the team commits to completing the work in the next sprint. During the sprint, the team works together to complete all the tasks in the sprint backlog. They are aided by the Scrum Master, who holds the daily Scrum meetings, ensures the burn-down chart and sprint backlog are continually updated to show completed and in-progress work, and removes any impediments that are blocking the team's progress. The Scrum Master also protects the team from outside influences, so they can focus on their committed work. The team's work during the sprint results in a product increment, containing the functionality in the sprint backlog built upon the functionality delivered in previous sprints. The product increment is demonstrated to stakeholders at the end of the sprint in the sprint review meeting, and the entire cycle begins again with the next sprint. An important characteristic of the team is its focus on continual process improvement, as dictated by the 12th Agile principle. This activity is supported by the sprint retrospective meeting, where the team reflects on their performance in the last sprint, pointing out what worked and what didn't. The team as a whole decides on process improvements to implement in the next sprint, so their progress is always getting better. Periodically, the team works with the product owner and Scrum Master to groom the product backlog. In the product backlog grooming meeting, a few of the top priority tasks on the product backlog are discussed. Once they are well understood, the team assigns a rough estimate of effort to each item. If the effort estimate will not fit into a single sprint, the item is split into multiple items that will deliver functionality that can be completed within a sprint. The product backlog grooming meeting is time-boxed, as only the top priority items need to be examined. Product backlog grooming ensures the highest priority items are sized correctly and understood, so the sprint planning meeting can focus on breaking down these items into small tasks with estimates. The Scrum team is accountable for product delivery, so the team is given the authority to determine the effort the work will take, how much work they can accomplish in a sprint, and how the work will be accomplished. The team commits as a whole and succeeds or fails as a team. The team success is more important than individual member success. And since everyone on the team must work together to complete the work they committed to, teamwork is vital and is facilitated by the Scrum Master. Over time, Scrum teams develop a deep form of camaraderie and learn how to work together to accurately estimate effort and produce high-quality work. Teams that are self-organizing and have developed team unity are one of the major productivity benefits of Scrum. When possible, established Scrum teams should be kept together when a project ends, moving new work to the team rather than moving team members to new projects.